What's up YouTube, CharminEXSoft here coming at you guys with another YouTube video, and today I want to bring you my spoiler-free honest review of Mass Effect Andromeda. Now before we get started, I want to tell you that I have fully beaten Mass Effects 1 through 3 and I fully completed Mass Effect Andromeda as well. Now I personally spent over 135 hours playing the main campaign, doing all the main missions, side missions, and even the minor task missions, so I personally did complete an entire playthrough. Then on top of that, I've also spent an additional 24 plus hours just doing the multiplayer, so I believe I have enough solid knowledge and experience with this game to bring you guys an honest review of it. So first, let's start off with the game's description. Now it states, Mass Effect Andromeda travels deep into the Andromeda galaxy, far beyond the Milky Way. There you will lead the fight for your new home in hostile territory where we all are alien. Take command as a Pathfinder, a leader of a squad of military-trained explorers with deep progression and customization systems. This is the story of humanity's next chapter, and the choices throughout the game will ultimately determine our survival in the Andromeda galaxy. Now, that sounds all fine and dandy and whatnot, but honestly, does it deliver on this experience? And my answer to that is yes. Now, visually, the game itself is gorgeous. It's actually a big improvement from the others. A lot of people are spreading a lot of BS rumors over the internet, saying that Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda look exactly the same, or that 3 looks better than Andromeda. Well, that's completely false, as you can see right here.
Everything okay, Cortez?
I'm fine. I've got repairs to make here. Give Cerberus help. We have to resume termination.
Find the numbers. Backup is inbound. The hostiles aren't going anywhere. It's me.
Now, for character creation, it can be a bit tricky in Mass Effect Andromeda. Me, personally, I just went with the default character because, like I said, it's a bit tricky and you're kind of limited when it comes to creation. But the amount of ability upgrades that you can do for your character as you progress is kind of overwhelming. I honestly must have respected my character about 10 different times, I mean, if not more, just to put some points back into the character so that I can go ahead and put them in different spots to find what abilities best suited me and my playstyle. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of different abilities that you can put in your character and customize them to make them your own, and that is a huge plus in my opinion. Now, when it comes to facial animations and cutscenes, yes, there were a lot of issues with them when the game first released, which mostly had to do with the character's eyes. They look really wonky, especially for the female default Sarah Ryder, which I'm sure a lot of you all have seen pictures of on the internet and a bunch of memes and stuff. As for other visual glitches, there were a fair number of them too that honestly I felt they should have been caught, like drinking from a cup without there being a cup in my hand. I mean, honestly, how do you miss that? I don't know. But here's the most important thing right here. None of the glitches in which I experienced negatively affected the game to the extent that I could say that it was garbage, because it's not by any means. It's actually a really good game. And in all honesty, you might get like one glitch every few hours, if that, and actually they're kind of minor visual glitches and, like I said, really rare. So they are there, yes, but you're not going to be compiled with them as in glitch after glitch after glitch after glitch like you're watching a bunch of memes on the internet, because it's a very large game and they are fairly well spread out. So keep that one in mind. I'm telling you, it's actually a really good game. Also, as an important note, I played the game on Xbox One, so some of the glitches that you may have seen might be PC specific as well, because most of the major ones that I've seen from people are from people who I know for a fact are playing on PC. And also, EA BioWare have already dropped their very first patch, 1.05, which fixed a lot of these issues that people were having, including the distractive eyeball animations. So kudos to them for actually coming out with this patch very quickly for us, because it did actually improve a lot of stuff. Now, when it comes to the combat system, I absolutely love it. I think the combat in Mass Effect Andromeda is actually better than all the other Mass Effects. No more having to push and hold a separate button to sprint or to get behind cover. Now you just push in the thumbstick like you do in every shooter to sprint, and your character will use cover automatically when they're standing next to it, like they should. It's really awesome, and it's a huge improvement in my opinion. Now, my only complaint with combat is that you as the player cannot choose to fire off your companion's abilities like you could in other Mass Effects. Instead, you have to pay attention to the enemies that you may not be directly engaged with in combat, just to see if your companion has decided to use their powers and set you up with a bionic or tech combo, so you don't miss out on those opportunities. Personally, this is something I miss, and I hope BioWare revisits in future installments of the series, because I really liked the ability of having some control over my companions in terms of their abilities and not just their strategic placement and movement around the field. Now, when it comes to space exploration, it's kind of boring in my personal opinion. It's very repetitive, but with the ground exploration, they really nailed it. The worlds are pretty massive for the most part, and it gives you a lot of things to do in terms of, you know, scavenging and whatnot, and side missions and task missions. There's really a lot to do when it comes to ground exploration. Now, what's also great is that BioWare allows you to drive your Nomad to all the different locations on most of the worlds, since the planets are completely open world and there's side quests around every corner. But not only do they allow you to drive the Nomad all over the place, but they also give you the ability to upgrade its systems like armor, shields, jump jets, traction, environmental protection. There's so much you can do with the Nomad, it's crazy. And that's not all. Now you can even mine materials for crafting new weapons and armor with your Nomad and your person as well. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you have a lot more ways of going around actually harvesting materials for crafting. I mean, that's awesome. No more having to purely mine from space by just scanning planets and shooting probes everywhere, although you could still do a bit of that too if you want to, but now you could do it all yourself and feel like the explorer that you are, scanning plant life, rocks and minerals, alien species, and collecting different samples and intel on everything. But I mean, honestly, the planet surface exploration is great, and I never got tired of it. There's always something to do, see, or shoot, or collect. Now, speaking even more on ground exploration, every planet has these structures called vaults, which, by the way, are lots of fun to explore, as there's lots of puzzles to solve, enemies to shoot in them, including some platforming that at which time slightly reminds me of exploring the Vault of Glass raid in Destiny. Vaults are a huge plus in my opinion, as I always felt eager to explore them, anxiously waiting to find all of the puzzles and solve them, and they just really put a smile on my face and added a lot of fun and excitement to playing the role of a Pathfinder in my opinion. Now, I really hope to see more of this in future Mass Effects, because the whole deep tunneling and stuff like that with all the crazy platforming was, again, a huge plus in my opinion, and it's something that the game really truly needed. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the threat for a bit, which are called the Ket. They are your organic life main threat in this game, but they're not the only threat out there, as you'll also be fighting another force of synthetics at times, which are called the Remnant, which some of them in my opinion kind of look like the machines from the Matrix, which is actually kind of cool. Now, both really have deep stories in my personal opinion if you pay a lot of attention to them, which I won't go into to avoid spoilers, but I find them both interesting, and I do want to learn more about them in the future installments, because I feel that there's a lot of stories still to be told with these two species, and I feel that BioWare can really build on them with a lot more future installments, and I really want to see where they go with these stories. And then lastly, let's go into the multiplayer a bit. You know, well, it's a horde mode, a lot like Mass Effect 3, so if you like the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3, then I'm sure you're gonna love this. Now, I do play it, and it's not bad, but personally, I'm not much for horde modes, as, you know, they kind of seem repetitive and they kind of get boring to me over time. So I don't play them as long because I don't really get as much use out of them as I normally do for, you know, your standard FPS, you know, actual multiplayers, where horde modes, like I said, they just kind of start getting very repetitive to me. So don't get me wrong, you know, they can be fun at times when you're playing with friends, but all it really kind of is 6 modes of killing waves with a few tasks that you could perform, you know, in between them and whatnot, you know, trying to capture little points and things of that nature. And then on the 7th round, you have 2 minutes to kind of fight the major horde and try to extract. So again, to my personal opinion, it gets kind of repetitive. And yes, in the multiplayer, you can gain levels with your character that you're using, unlocking new skills and abilities as you progress, but unlike in the single player, every multiplayer character has set skills and abilities, so there's no real customizing them to your likeness except for weapons. You know, you're stuck with the abilities that that character has to offer until you unlock other characters and weapons by playing and earning more points and opening packs, or by actually purchasing them with actual money through microtransactions. And even once, you know, you go ahead and open these packs, you still have a small chance, in my personal opinion, to maybe unlock the character that you want. So basically, you're just gonna kind of settle for a character that's similar to the one that you played in the single player with the abilities, because personally, none of the characters, in my personal opinion, have any of the abilities that I used in the single player. Well, they have some, but they don't have like that perfect combination. I like to use Singularity, Barricade, and Lance, and not one of the characters has all 3 of those abilities. So it's kind of like, you know, a downside for me, because that's the setup that I like to personally play. Personally, I think giving you the ability to choose your skills and abilities would have been a cool feature for the multiplayer, since there were so many abilities and skills you could choose from, and it literally probably would have made everybody's character different. So that would have been cool, and I don't think it would have been a problem, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of abilities and stuff you could choose from in the single player. Now, personally, I feel that Mass Effect Andromeda is a great game with a very interesting story to tell that even connects a bit to the older Mass Effect games at parts and still leaves enough room for more sequel stories, which I'm excited for. You know, I'm really excited to see where they take this game, and I cannot wait for the sequels. Now, even though I said that the stories kind of connect a bit to the older Mass Effects, I feel it's important to tell you that in no way, shape, or form do you have to play any of the older Mass Effects to enjoy this one. See, Mass Effect Andromeda is truly a complete new story of its own that has cool connecting references to the other Mass Effects that the original players will enjoy without spoiling any of the fun for you if you have not played any of the original titles and would still like to go ahead and revisit them later on. All in all, I would have to give Mass Effect Andromeda a final verdict of a 7.5 out of 10. See, the game honestly is great. If you are a Mass Effect fan, I really think that you will enjoy it if you cannot dwell on the occasional glitch here and there, which again, that they've gone ahead and fixed a lot of them with patch 1.05, especially the eyeball issues, and that is pretty much where the extra 0.5 is coming from in my rating, because EA BioWare, I feel, are listening to the complaints and they're fixing the issues rather quickly to make the game more enjoyable for us. But, you know, I still really feel that it's not an 8, because honestly, I feel that those bugs were very much kind of like in your face, and they really should have been noticed before the release. And personally, I'm still having trouble getting behind a horde mode for the multiplayer, so that is just my personal opinion. Again, a 7.5 out of 10. So if you simply want to know if I think you should buy this game, then the answer is yes, absolutely. If you're a Mass Effect fan, I definitely would pick this game up. Now, I'm not saying to go out and buy it today, as it's just going to get better over time with every patch as they release them. So if you want to wait a month or two, or for a sale, or, you know, for more patches, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. You know, it's your money. But, you know, to my personal opinion, I think you are eventually going to want to go ahead and play this game, because I do feel that there's going to be connecting stories that are going to be building off of this game, and you're going to kind of want to get that backstory for it. But if honestly you want to have a beautiful action-packed sci-fi experience with deep progression systems and cool story and a lot of potential for growth in future installments with over 120 hours of possible gameplay and a multiplayer horde mode, then this game is for you. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed my review, and please feel free to let me know if you agree with it down in my comment section below if you in fact went ahead and played the game. And I hope you guys enjoy reviews and you want more of them, because I'm going to be doing plenty more reviews on this channel as well coming up here in the future. Now, if you know a game that you want to see reviewed on the channel, or you are a dev and you'd like me to take a look at your game for an honest review that is, then don't be afraid to reach out or comment your ideas, as I will take everyone's game ideas into consideration. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you out. And if it did, please feel free to go ahead and slap that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Charmin today. Then you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and comment below and follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. I'm CharminEXSoft, and as always, thanks for watching, and y'all come back now, you hear?